You have heard numerous things that happens to pregnant women, and you are not exactly sure what to expect because there's so much, and at this point you are losing count of the list of things that happens to them. And you're welcome to the part 2 of my video on everything to expect as a pregnant woman. This is a continuation from my previous video, and our slogan here is motherhood activated, patience activated, love is all we need. Now let's go straight to it. In my last video, I stopped at your switch of emotion. Now in this video, we are going to be starting with the way your mouth feels. Your mouth is not going to feel very, very comfortable. There are some people that this feeling is so worse that they have to start spitting around. They even carry buckets and bowls around. But this depends on who is going through it. Like I said in my previous video, that pregnancy experience differs from person to person. So at this point, it depends on who it is. And also, this mouth feeling always sometimes ends at the first trimester, but there are some people that have to go through this throughout their pregnancy journey. So it depends on who it is that is going through this. Now, talking about your mouth not being comfortable, it's going to extend to not wanting to kiss your husband. Yes, and that is how serious it is. So at some point, you may have to intentionally try to just have pecs and things like that. If not, it's going to give you a very big gap and space from your husband. So you have to be very careful and very intentional. Now, still talking about your mouth not being comfortable, I'm going to relate it to you not being able to eat. In my last video, if you have watched it, at a point I mentioned the fact that you feel so hungry, but when you're in the first trimester, you may be so hungry and you don't feel like eating, so you can take drink, that's fruit juice. Yeah, it's mostly connected to the mouth not feeling comfortable. You feel so hungry, but you won't even be able to eat because your mouth is either bitter, having too much speed. You don't just have you don't salivate like you feel like eating. You don't have that feeling, especially in the first trimester. So at this point, you just have to take fruit juice so that you can be very comfortable. Now, still talking about your mouth not being comfortable, and as addition to the fact that you won't be comfortable with smells, you may not feel like going to the kitchen. Exactly. You are cooking, you don't feel like tasting the food. You won't even feel like cooking because the smell of kitchen might be affecting you. So these are the things you should consider. The best thing is if you have help, try to get help. If you can have someone that will cook it for you in the kitchen, who will cook for you, feel free to get this help. It is very, very important. Another very funny thing that happens during pregnancy is bad thoughts and bad dreams. I've spoken about the sway of emotions, like your emotions just beat you around here and there. And so many times, these emotions that sways around used to lead to having bad thoughts, but you are the one that is in charge of yourself. You know who you are. So the moment you begin to have thoughts that they are not pleasing to God or to yourself, your family, or people around you, you rebuke it and start praying immediately. There are times that pregnancy just make you have unnecessarily bad dreams because your body and your mind may not be in comfortable situation. Because of that, it's youth bad dream. When you have such, wake up, pray, and rebuke them, and focus yourself on God to make it easy for you, so that you don't nurse any bad thought. This is a very delicate moment, not the kind of moment you want to engage or nurse bad thought. And this is one of the reasons why people don't even share the fact that they are pregnant with extra people that is not within their family, because at some point they feel like it can be very spiritual. Yes, pregnancy, especially in Africa, can be a very spiritual journey for you, for us. And so because of that, you must learn how to pray and rebuke any evil thoughts and evil dreams. During pregnancy, another thing to expect is swollen feet or even swollen nail. I'm going to put these two together because the same thing results to them. If you are never the type that have swollen feet, swollen nail, there are some people that even have it normally when they stress, but there are some people that don't. But because you don't have it even when you're not pregnant, does not mean you will not have it when you're pregnant. There's possibility and chance that you may be having swollen feet or swollen nail when pregnant. Now, the best and the only solution to this is resting, 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 and resting. When you rest very well, when you're not putting too much weight on your feet, you're not walking too much, you're not walking too much, because sometimes there are people that have this because they've overstressed their body, not because they even want to have it in the first place. And your feet can be so swollen, you'll be very surprised at how much it expands, like a swollen bread, or I don't even know what else to use to qualify that. So these are the things to expect, and the way to manage this is by resting. Another way to manage it is doing ginger pulses. That is, you place ginger in a cloth, and you can check online for how to make ginger pulses, but you can just brand your ginger, put it in a very soft cloth, put something on it and tie it on your leg. Not your leg and the ginger should not be in direct contact. There will be like a thin layer of that cloth. It's like putting the ginger in between that cloth, then you put it on your leg. And in this way, it will help you to absorb every form of water that is there. Another way is also by drinking enough water. I understand your leg is swollen. Your leg is swollen because the most times swollen leg is because water is not being able to enter into the cell. But at the same time, one of the ways to solve it is by taking enough water. So please do well to take enough water during this journey. You even need it throughout. We'll still be talking about the foods you should eat during this journey of pregnancy. But then before we get there, I would like to add the fact that you need to learn to take enough water, and rest. Like I said, you can do ginger poultice, or you can leave it. You don't necessarily need to do any poultice. It is if it's completely affecting you so much and you can't move on, then okay, you can do the poultice. Because during my time, I had a very swollen nail because I was overworking at the point, so I had to do ginger poultice. It used to be very hot. You're going to see a hot feeling at that moment. Then over time it goes down. Before we move on, please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe to this channel and share with those people that need it. I've started this channel to have every information for pregnant women compacted, especially information from Africa, because during my pregnancy, I really got help from online, and I was so interested in also giving help to people. But at the same time, I didn't get so much help from people in this side of the country, because most of the people in this side of the country that make videos kind of make it a bit scary, and I was just trying to lean away from their videos. So that's why I'm doing what to expect and how to manage it, because I don't want any form of fear in anybody, in any woman out there. So I don't want any form of fear in you out there. So we want to be strong, and that is why this channel is for you. And I'm dedicating this channel for all pregnant moms and postpartum moms. So please do well to subscribe to be a part of this community. Another thing you can expect during pregnancy is pimples. If you're the type that used to have pimples normally, definitely expect it. It is automatic. You're gonna get it to some extent, yes. Maybe not, but to some extent, yet. But if you're not the type that used to have pimples normally, nevertheless, you may still get it. And this time around, it's not just going to be pimples all over your face, but your back, your chest, and places that you don't even expect that pimples can even thrive, they are going to be there. So what is the solution to this? You can use face cleanser if you have one that will work so well, but at the same time, you can just leave it and just be fine, because there are sometimes that even the use of anything external will not work for you. So then you may not want to stress yourself on this. Another thing to expect during pregnancy is pigmentation. Now, talking about pigmentation, it can include skin tags and also color pigmentation, like your skin becomes a bit darker, like that. And it happens in a lot of people, their neck, especially the faces. And now the person that is involved is determined how and how much it will occur. There's some that is very intense, there's some is just a little, and like that. So these things you should expect. When it comes to pigmentation, I don't think it's a big deal, because it's not even going to affect so much. You can just wear clothes that covers your neck, especially also when it comes to that pimples. In case you have pimples all over your back, your neck, you can just wear clothes that cover all that part, so you feel bold to go out there. But then when it comes to pimples on your face, you may use face cleanser if it works for you. It doesn't usually work for a lot of pregnant women when they are pregnant like that and they have pimples on their face. So the same thing with this pigmentation. You may not need to stress yourself, because by the grace of God, when the baby is out, everything in your skin is going to be back to normal. Another thing that people don't commonly talk about during pregnancy is pee leak. I've never heard of this before until it happened. And pee leak is something that your bladder is not able to hold pee anymore. Not the one you run to the toilet. Running to the toilet constantly is one of those things you should expect during pregnancy. But then pee leak is another thing that can just happen anytime. Then I went online and I saw that, oh, this thing is so common during pregnancy, and I've hardly heard anybody talk about it. So yeah, I am talking about it, so that when it happens to you, you don't feel so down and depressed, because it is just because of your situation. It's a time where your bladder cannot even hold pee at all, and it just releases itself without even waiting for you to want to go to the toilet or not. So that is another thing that happens during pregnancy. Another thing that happens now is infection. Yeah, during this period of time, you are very, very prone to infection. When I mean very, very prone, I mean very, very prone, because even an average lady who is not pregnant, when the time is getting closer to their menstruation, they attend to having infection if they've not been taking very good and proper care of themselves. So now talking about a whole pregnant woman. So you have to be careful, you have to be neat with what the toilet you sit on, with what you do. So in this way, you can stay away from infection. You don't have to be going to the hospital for infection. So you have to be very, very careful. You have to be careful of where you, and being pregnant again, you want to pee all the time, and because of that, it used to result in people just using toilets anyhow, and at the same time, they will not end up having infection. So there you are, taking antibiotics when you're just supposed to be relaxing your mouth that is not even feeling comfortable in the first place. Another thing is there's something they call pregnancy diabetes. It doesn't happen to everybody, but when you get to the hospital, when you ask them, they will ask you to do a test for it, and you'll be sure if it's going to happen to you or not. Now, talking about pregnancy diabetes, in my next video, we will be talking about the medical expectations you should get. When I mean medical expectations, I mean things that you expected to do medically. We will talk about them. The things we've just spoken, everything you expect to know during pregnancy is what we are done talking about, like things that might happen to you, that might happen to your body. But now let us talk about your medical expectations in my next video. Thank you so much for staying till this time. Don't forget the slogan: motherhood activated, patience activated, love is all we need. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel to join this community. See you in my next video. Bye.